Welcome to the 2021 Heart of America Athletic Conference Men's Soccer Media Day. I'm Erik Bergrud, color commentator for the Kansas City Comets of the Major Arena Soccer League. Our next head coach is Grandview University head coach Blair Reid. Coach, how are you doing today?
Erik, I'm doing great. Just ran over from lunch after morning session, and our fantastic SID reminded me. So if I sound a little out of breath or a little sweat dripping down, it's it was about a 85-yard sprint.
But you made it here. I really
I
appreciate
made it
it.
here. Maybe a pulled hammy.
That's okay. You've got training staff right near you on the sideline, so it's all good. So you're approaching year number 37 here at Grandview. How much are you looking forward to another season with the Vikings?
Well, yes, you're absolutely correct. 37 seasons, and I am looking forward to it every year. I've always said to people that I care about, especially one's wife, I said, when I stop enjoying it or it ceases to be fun, apart from all other administrative stuff that comes with being a coach, but when you just say, I don't really like this, or I don't want to do this anymore, it's no fun. Then you need to step away. But I'm excited for this year. I like the group of guys that we have, and I'm kind of rejuvenated for these young men. Their attitude at training has been really good, so I'm excited. But my gosh, 37 years, it's funny because I tell some of the kids on the team, I'm older than their parents, and I've actually had some kids of parents that I coached back in the 80s and 90s come to Grandview. It's been kind of cool, actually, but I'm excited for it.
And that's great. So having spent 37 years at one school and a community, how much does Grandview and the Des Moines area mean to you?
Well, it means a lot. Maybe the reason I've been here 37 seasons, nobody else will have me, Erik. I'm not sure, but it's been. I started out in the community coaching club soccer back in the late 70s, and just saw the possibilities of helping grow soccer in this area in Iowa. It was I don't want to say it was non-existent back then, but it pretty much was. It wasn't even a high school sport back then. But I've kind of grown up in this area, being part of the soccer community in different avenues, whether it's in high school or coaching in the USL with the Des Moines Menace and then Grandview. I actually thought the natural progression was to be successful and then try and move on to a bigger school or a bigger program. And after 6-7 years, we were quite successful at the district level in the NEIA, as it used to be back then. And I thought, well, okay, I need to find something bigger and better. But you know what? The opportunity to work with Des Moines Menace and help get the franchise started was something that was really important to me, that kind of fueled that next level of expectation for me as a coach. But then, you know what? Des Moines is a great city to be in. And if you look at Des Moines from the 1980s to where it is now, it's like night and day. And obviously, I met my wife here at Grandview College back in the day, and it wasn't necessary to try find something outside of Des Moines because everything is offered here, and including good level of soccer, good people in the soccer community, and a fantastic city. And obviously trying to get a few little brownie points. Our administration is pretty cool too.
I'm sure they'll appreciate hearing this, and maybe you can share it across campus when this airs. So
sure.
You talked about bigger and better. You're in I was going to say pretty good, very good conference in the Heart, with the last 3 national champions. With every game you look up and down the schedule, a competitive game. How has your coaching philosophy evolved, as you know that you're coming to another season where all the other teams are going to be competitive? What does this do for you in terms of your approach?
That's a great question. You're absolutely right. The 13 teams in our conference are all competitive. And I don't want to mention any names, but, like 1 through 11 can beat you any day. It's almost like being in the Premier League. I've seen Manchester United get beat by Huddersfield, a newly promoted team, and at Old Trafford, and you go, Man U's probably going, well, how the heck did that happen? So you need to really come prepared and ready to play, and nothing's a given. So, we take it a game at a time. We look at the opponent. We try to learn as much as we can about who we're playing and devise tactics to, either exploit them or stop them from scoring. So, but it is a challenge. There's no, how can I say, there's no days off in this league. And yeah, the last 3 years, the national champ has come from this league, and runners up. So yeah, it's definitely. I think we've been in the league 6 years now. I think was our 6th year, and it's good. It's a good competitive league, And I'm sure the other coaches may mention this, but when you're recruiting prospective students, you always want to say, well, you'll be playing in the best league in the NEIA, and we are. And so that's is a really good carrot to dangle for some kids.
So I guess you could say that 2020 was a historic year, but maybe not for all the reasons we wanted. Are there any lessons that you or your team learned about resilience, about toughness, about mentality that you are taking into the 21 season?
It's a great question. I think there was a lot of learning for everybody, not only soccer teams, but every athletic team and every campus community as a whole. And I think something that we stressed was trying to take care of each other, try to do the right things to, for want of better words, insulate the bubble that we had, try to follow protocols. But it was a challenge. You could never quite embrace each other as a sort of team as you've done in the past, because preseason was cut short, non-conference games. There was such a lot of uncertainty. I think it was difficult to kind of get some sort of routine going week to week to week. But I think it did teach the guys and coaches about being patient, being caring, prepare for the unexpected, keep doing the right things to ensure that we're trying to be healthy and try to be as successful as we can. A lot of coaches, we all talk about mental toughness and all that sort of stuff. And definitely the COVID season really tested, I think, everybody that way. Some guys were ready to play. And then obviously if a roommate tested positive, now they're isolated, and we've come so far from last year to this year, understanding the virus and what to do, what not to do. But it certainly was a challenge. And I think a lot of people will look back in time and kind of sort some things out. I haven't really, until you brought that up, Erik, I never really gave it a lot of thought. I'm just focused on getting ready for this year, and COVID's behind us, kind of, and let's get after it and let's enjoy ourselves. Our preseason has been totally different than last year, and it was a challenge, and I think a lot of people learned things, especially me. Being a little bit older guy in the league, I certainly had to watch out for masking and not being in the environment. So I was really zipping in and zipping out at trainings, even though they're outside. Being the older guy. My wife, obviously, I don't want to get her sick as well. So that was a challenge. And like I was saying to the guys, you can only really control what you can do and look after your health the best way you can. And that's what we all need to do.
So speaking about the team, if there's one theme I've heard in my conversations with Hart coaches is they prefer to focus on team goals rather than talking about individual players. So I'll rephrase the question I was going to ask you. What are your team goals for this year? And if you're willing to share some names, who are some returning players that you're hoping step up into an even greater leadership role this season?
Well, you know what? Being one of the new teams in the Hart, we'd love to win the Hart Conference. We haven't won it yet. We've been second, third, fourth, ninth. We've been all over the place. So our goal would be to win that. And I'm sure every coach who will listen to this, that's what they want to do as well. Because if you do win the conference, you get an automatic into the national tournament and probably a decent seed because you won the Hart. So that would be something that we'd like to do. Sometimes speaking of certain players, you always have that sense that you might leave somebody out. And, when you go walking down the hallway, you go, dang it, I forgot to mention so-and-so, But we have a decent core of guys returning from last year. We need to, those lads that made a little bit of all conference noise, Cade Longnecker as a outside defender. I love the maturity that he's now gotten as a player, and he seems to have a whole better, different understanding of the game. So we're looking for good things from him. Our freshman keeper last year came in and challenged for the top job and won it over 2 seniors. So he's good quality. So I'm expecting some good things out of his name is Felix Schaefer. Senior center mid, outside mid, Chicho Vendetti was an all-conference player. Chicho's back for his COVID season, so we're expecting some good things out of him. My gosh, I'm falling into that pitfall again. Joe Streetland will be a senior. Philip Amon will be a senior. Diego Leite will be a senior. I think all that experience that we have really will be key to the success that we'll try for. We fell short. It's interesting when we looked at all our statistics from last year, we pretty much outpossessed most teams and outshot them, but our record wasn't the best and we missed opportunities. It was so we've been trying to focus in a little bit more, putting the ball in the net, as every coach will tell you. But yeah, I'm certainly missed out some guys, that's for sure. But I think a core of guys returning from what they would say a mediocre season, I think this kind of revived them and give them a sense of maybe unfinished business. But you have to put the work in. There's just because you think you're a good team and experience, you have to put the work in, because my gosh, everyone in the heart's pretty damn good. So yeah,
that's an absolute fact. Coach, thank you so much for joining us today. Best wishes for a great 2021 fall season.
Erik, it's been a pleasure, and thank you, sir.
Thank you.